So, Zenless Zone Zero 1.3 is on the horizon, and I've just looked at the live stream. I'm a little bit late to it, I can't lie, and that's what happens when life gets busy, and I'm just going to go ahead and give my thoughts on what's coming up for 1.3, or at least what we know about 1.3. Let's start off with the story, because that's like the first thing they talked about, and it's kind of like the selling point of any sort of patch that comes out with these games. It's interesting. I'm not really a Section 6 guy myself. I'm really not. A lot of the characters from that group just really ain't it for me. But I'm happy to be proven wrong, and for them to change my mind. You know, I wasn't really a big fan of the Victoria Housekeeping Company at first when the game came out, and then they changed my mind in Chapter 3, so who knows, maybe this will be a turnaround for me, I don't know. They mentioned that there's going to be some Perlman integration. It was one of the things that was missing from 1.2 story, with the fact that, you know, Perlman was mentioned, but we didn't actually get to, like, interrogate him or anything, but there's apparently going to be some integration in there. That will likely be a subplot for now, based on what they said on the stream, is that, like, hey, you know, he'll be there, but he's not going to be, like, fully involved in this story. They showed off artwork for 1.3 story, and it's, like, a really cool outfit for Yanagi. Why isn't that just her outfit in the game? Like, it looks so much better than what she's currently rocking. She'd be way higher tier if that was the case, if that's what she just wore in game. This is kind of the case with, like, a few of them, but this outfit in particular is so much better than what she's currently rocking when she's just out and about Section 6ing it up, you know? But at the same time, thank you, Zenless, for just letting me skip her without any sort of FOMO. Because, again, Yanagi is just not it for me, man. Just not it for me whatsoever. So it's going to be kind of hard to enjoy the story when Yanagi is, like, one of the main focuses. But we'll see. Maybe her character's better. Because I do like her character, from what I've seen. It's just her design's just so mid, man. It's so mid. The lighter agent story. So they didn't give us much on this, but it does sound very interesting. I'm a big lighter fan, so whatever it is, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Again, they didn't give too much about it. It's basically just about him being the undisputed champion, so, you know, I'm sure it will be something interesting about that. We do have something about lighter a little bit later on as well, which I'm very much looking forward to talking about. So, in terms of gameplay, they showed us Yanagi and Lighter. I'll just get into, like, what I wrote down for my notes here. For Yanagi, I don't care. Like, I kind of just sort of glossed over what was happening with her. I'm not pulling for her, so, you know, I'm really not going to pay attention to how she plays, just because I'm probably never going to use her. There is, like, an event where you're probably going to have to use her at one point, but I would just use her one time and just call it a day. I'm sure she'll be a cool character for the people that want to pull for her, but right now, it's nothing eye-catching for me personally. So again, they're really doing a good job of making me want to skip Yanagi. So yeah. Lighter, however, I have a lot of thoughts on. So he apparently works for both fire and ice teams, so I can finally use Ellen, which I know there's some people that are going to be very happy to hear me say that I can finally use Ellen. You know, I've had Ellen since basically the beginning of the game. I've not used her. I have her somewhat built up, so now I know I need to start building her up. Maybe building up Sakaku at the same time, and then we're good to go. Maybe. I don't know if that's the team I'm going to be rocking, but we'll see. We will see when we get nearer to Lighter. He looks fun to play, and that's all I really care about. You know, he lowers resistances. He has a morale gauge. He looks like he stuns really quickly. If I wasn't already pulling for him, because I'm going to be regardless, he would be a must pull for me now. He's incredibly fun looking, and that's just all I really look for when it comes to these characters. Like, I'm not looking for balked units or units that they're going to carry me through the game for the rest of my time playing Zenless. I'm just looking for the characters I enjoy, man, and it just so happens that one of my favorite characters was Jane Doe, and that has very much changed the way I play Zenless. But I'm sure Lighter's going to be a good stun unit, but I don't think he's going to be like a broken stun unit. Unless he works insanely well with like an Ellen or like a Soldier 11's not great. But, you know, maybe over time Lighter's going to get better. I don't know. Bang Boos. Bang Boos. I love these little guys. Please, Zenless, can we make merch of the Bang Boos? Give us an EOS plush and my life and my money is yours, okay? But we do have 2 new Bang Boos, both A ranks, in the form of Baddie Boo and Night Boo. Now, Baddie Boo we saw in Undercover R&B. Yeah, I'm sure he's going to be interesting, but Night Boo is like the real selling point here. An event exclusive for the time being, which we will get onto the event in a second. And he has some fun mechanics. Not sure if he'll be good, but again, fun mechanics over good mechanics, in my humble opinion. You know, as long as I can still play the game with it, I don't really care. I'll give Night Boo a go if I think he's cool. 10 pulls, 10 Boopons. At this point, I feel like we'd all collectively have meltdowns if they stopped giving us 10 pulls at the start of the patch. Genuinely, if they ever stopped doing that, if Star Rail stopped doing it, if Wuthering stopped doing it, if Zenless stopped doing it, I feel like we would go into a meltdown. And at this point, they've just got to keep doing it. Lighter has a side-scrolling fighting game mode. I win. I just win. I love this style of game. It's lighter, so it's going to be sick. It sounds like it's a really interesting mode. I'm all over it. And I will be playing it. And I will be enjoying every second of it. Because, of course, I am. And now we're going to get into the thing, which I called from the last patch, from the last live stream. Simulated battle trials. The hard content with a vanity prize that I was looking for. I will be locking in. I will be sweating this and I will be trying to get the best rewards possible. I don't usually do it, but with Zenless, I feel like I'm in a really good spot. I'm in a really good position where I can just blitz through this if I'm just locked in. This looks incredibly difficult. I can't lie, right? But I like having something that doesn't have a time limit, that isn't time gated to where, like, you have to do this in 3 weeks or you'll never get the good rewards. And I feel like there's a pressure, right? I like having something that I can just, you know, do when I have like a few hours spare, see how far I can get through it. If I get the cool rewards at the end, I get the cool rewards at the end. And if I get to flex on everybody that I was able to get incredibly far in that mode, then I can do so. Alright, I'm going to be trying my damnedest, and there's probably going to be videos on this, of trying to get as far as humanly possible in this mode, because I think this is something I could lock in on. I don't usually lock in with these games. I'm usually not a meta guy, but I have Jane Doe, I have an Anomaly team. I feel like that's probably a very, very good start for me. The Mystery of Arpeggio Fault. It's a roguelike mode in Hollow Zero, so it looks interesting. I'm definitely going to give it a go. It has Night Boo. That's the event you get Night Boo from. The mechanics look interesting, and they finally made the TVs feel unique and different. So we finally have the TVs in a mode where it feels like it's not just the TVs are there because there's no cutscenes. The TVs are serving a purpose for once, and that's really, really cool, right? There's also a skill tree and such. It's going to be something that's probably, you're going to learn more about it the more you play through this mode. I'm super excited. I can't lie. Super, super excited. Then we have a few events. We have the double drop event, which, you know, most of these games have double drop events at this point. Virtual Battlefield Mayhem, which is test battles with buffs, so it gives polychrome, so I'll get it done. That's the one I was talking about, having Yanagi, and I think they're going to give you units, so it's probably worth using those units, or just using a unit that you could probably just blitz through it with. The NR Assistant Program, this is Bang Boo commissions. It sounds like fun, pretty goofy event, which could be a few fun hours, you know. It's Bang Boos, I'm in. Help Kai event where you do tasks, you're just doing tasks. It's going to be one of those ones where it's like, okay, this can be time gated, so I'm just going to wait until everything's unlocked and I'm just going to blitz through it in one day. We can display titles and badges on our friend profiles now. So we've got a full-blown vanity system. Profile pictures, which you can only access certain profile pictures if you have certain units. Banners, which if you've whaled for like Bernice or Jane Doe or any unit, you've got the M6 banners. That's a flex. That's a money flex. But then you've got titles and badges, giving you more reasons to play certain modes and attempt harder content. So if you're one of those people that just wants to flex or showcase how good you are at the game, then this is the thing for you. Or if you know, there's titles for getting to, like, the end of someone's trust event. So if you wailed and did Jane Doe's trust event and you really want to show everyone just how much you like Jane Doe or how much you like Bernice, then you can also show that too. But it seems as though we're going to be getting a lot more flex items, as in, like, hey, how far into the simulated battle trials have you gotten? I'd love to be able to get to the end as quickly as humanly possible. But I know it's going to be a tough one. I know it is. And then we had some optimization. So, dailies are now shown differently, and weeklies are revamped slightly. Which, you know, that's cool, right? I think they're giving you more rewards now for doing weeklies, which is always a good thing. Hey, more rewards. You know, I'm happy to just do that once a week. We can call that a day. Combat training mode is now apparently a bit more of a bigger thing for if you're trying to figure out bosses and enemies and whatnot. There's a lot of small optimizations, it sounds like, that just makes farming and building characters easier, which is a big relief for someone who's been grinding a lot of teams, you know, starting with the Ben, Kaleda, Anton team, then having to build 2 separate teams for Jane Doe, having to build up Seth, then not having Seth because of Bernice coming out, and now I'm having to build up Ellen. So anything that can make my life easier is better. Overall thoughts on 1.3, I think it'll be a fun time. I don't think it's, for me personally, I don't think the story's anything too crazy. I was hoping for maybe a little bit more, but I kind of expected it to be Yanagi based. Maybe it's going to lead into what we saw at the end of 1.2. I don't know. I'm very much looking forward to the events more than anything, which is an absolute shock. Coming from a guy who said that I wasn't really a big fan of Zenless's events in the last one, or just events in gacha games in general have always been kind of a misplay for me. So having something like the simulated battle trials and having it this early to the point where I have the units where I feel like I can do this pretty well is going to be an absolute blessing. I'm worried about not having Zhu Yuan, but we move. Alright, we move, okay? Watch there just be that one enemy that's weak to Aether that I just can't get through. So, we'll see on that one. But let me know what you guys think of 1.3. Are you optimistic? Are you excited? I don't know. Let me know. And yeah, see ya.